Hello. I completed all of my research upgrades, but stuff still happened. So what's up? At attention patriots, we salute law enforcement, but not that kind of law enforcement, the good kind of law enforcement. Now you might be asking me, what is good law enforcement? I have never heard of that. Well, I'll tell you, we stand the Booty Patrol. A man in Florida was cited by cops for driving a truck that looked like a Border Patrol truck, but it wasn't. It was a Booty Patrol truck. It had flashing lights like law enforcement, and it had glowing wheels, and it said Booty Patrol on the back. While I am not a fan of ICE, I am a fan of I see dat booty. Presumably the truck was out doing the rounds to make sure that all booty was up to code. I commend him for that. But as always, the cops didn't like it. And so they were like, stop it. That's the story. Anyway, corporate realtors were kind of held accountable, almost not, slap on the wrist, but still. A jury in the US found that the National Association of Realtors was conspiring to keep prices artificially high for some commissions. It basically shakes out such that there are just a whole bunch of parties involved in real estate sales, and not all of them need to be there, but all of them were still getting paid. Paid more than they needed to be for not doing a whole lot. The long and short of it is people working to keep people making money off of basically no work for the purpose of continuing to extract money from the system. And guess who loses? As always, it's us. My understanding is that it's kind of similar to the bullshit in like the medical insurance industry, where it's just like, let's just use funny money and see what ends up coming into our pockets. Anyway, various massive corporate realtor groups now have to pay about $2 billion in damages that might go up. That's nothing to them, but it's more accountability than we had before, so neat. Accountability is gonna be a bit of a theme from here on out, so here we go. Hey, New York, how's your mayor? Is he a cop? Is he being investigated by the FBI? Yeah, if you weren't aware, New York City's mayor, Eric Adams, is a cop, and that's surprising because everyone hates the NYPD. I don't know either. Anyway, he's under investigation for possible corruption by the FBI. Shocker. Recently, this investigation broke more into the public eye as the head of his campaign fundraising had her home raided by the FBI. They are looking into possible corruption with taking money from the Turkish government, and there's like a construction company involved. It's the whole 9 yards. We could bust out the conspiracy board if you want. Wild. A cop politician possibly doing corrupt things. Who would have seen? I can't even believe it. Sam Bankman-Fried, disgraced former head of crypto company FTX, has been found guilty on all charges of fraud that he was facing in trial. He now stands convicted on top of about $10 billion of fraud. FTX was kind of this like crypto golden boy. It was supposed to be this financial institution that brought stability to the crypto world and gave people a platform to join the crypto revolution. It was actually just a fraud front. It has been heavily compared to Enron in terms of giant corporate collapses, so much so that the guy who came in to fix Enron after all that happened came into FTX as well. And when he walked in there, he was like, what the hell is all of this? He was shocked at just how bad the situation actually was. And this is the guy that cleaned up like the biggest corporate mess in US history. Anyway, while he was supposed to go up and do his testimony, Sam Bankman-Fried essentially just walked up to the podium and said all of the wrong things. His defense essentially amounted to like, nah, I didn't do fraud. I didn't mean to do it. I didn't do fraud. No, you did fraud. Haha! Uno reverse card. Anyway, he's going to jail and whatnot, but like, what gets me here is that this isn't an isolated thing. This dude is doing the same fraud that like every other major corporation is doing. He just was bad at it. He was blatant, and he didn't hide his tracks well, and he didn't have a good enough PR team around him to spin it. He didn't have a good enough legal team to cover his ass. This is all going on constantly. Probably not to the same degree in one place as this was, but amortized and spread out over a bunch of other corporations, or just being done in broad daylight by corporations that are too big to go after. Show me a CEO who isn't corrupt, and I will ask you to leave my house. How did you get in here? On this day in 1973, NASA launched the Mariner 10 space probe towards Mercury. It was the first space probe to actually reach Mercury. It did multiple flybys of Mercury. It also passed by Venus at one point. As it passed by Venus, it also became the first space probe to send back images of Venus to Earth. Previous probes had sent back like data and stuff, but none of them had actually given us their Snapchat. Lightning round, a new treatment for Super gonorrhea has apparently passed medical trial. Here's the weather. Apple is shutting down their voice-only plan for Apple Music, which was a plan that gave you access to their music library, but you could only access it through voice commands to Siri. Wow, weird that they would shut that down. Disney will be acquiring a remainder of a controlling stake on Hulu from Comcast, citing that this will, quote, further Disney's streaming objectives. I love furthering my streaming objectives. The Texas Rangers beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 5-0 in the Baseball World Series. That is the end of my knowledge of this situation. I didn't know the World Series happened. The Republican-controlled U.S. House of Representatives has passed their $14.3 billion aid package for Israel. Biden has said he's going to veto it, not because of the money and not because of, it's going to Israel, but because of the method of getting that money. Watch my previous episode for more. And finally for today, if you live in the EU, Meta is rolling out a subscription option for using Facebook and Instagram without ads in order to comply with privacy regulations in Europe. In a statement, Meta declared, quote, "We'll continue to advocate for an ad-supported internet." Man, what a righteous cause. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what the FBI is investigating you for. My name is Endeavorance. I will be back on Monday. Take care and be well.